For problem 3.3, measuring circles, I will encourage you to just take any circular object you have close to you, or you can just look at this circle right here. And so what we're going to do is that we are going to figure out or take a guess or just look at it, okay? Let's say that this is the center of the circle, and then you go here, that will be a radius. So the question is, how many radii does it take to go half around the circle? So half of this pi, how many radii do I need? And radii is a plural for radius, by the way. So how many radii do I need to go around, halfway around the circle? And if just take a guess, take 10 seconds to think about it. There is a right answer, there is a wrong answer. If you tell me that 10,000, right, I would be like, no, you're really far off. But let's say that you said 3. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, 3 or maybe less than 3, right? Like how many times if you fold from here to here around the circle halfway there would cover the circumference, right? Like around. So that would be around 3 times. How about how many times would it take to go around the circle, like a full revolution? So if you say around 6 or less than 6, maybe 5 something, you're right. Okay. So here maybe about 3 radii. Okay, here. Maybe here about 6 radii, if you want to like answer something. Okay, and that's it. That's about that question. Number 2, it says, what is the exact number of radii that fit around the circumference of the circle? So the first thing that you need to remember is that there is a formula for the circumference. And the circumference is C equals 2 pi r. Okay. So if we leave the r alone, can you please take 5 seconds and tell me, how can I solve for r? So how can I leave the r alone? What do I need to do if 2 pi is multiplying the r? If you said adding, you're very off. If you say subtracting, you are not really paying attention that these are multiplying each other. So if you said divide by 2 pi, yeah, you're correct. We divide by 2 pi both sides, okay? And then we have the circumference over the 2 pi equals r. But you gotta remember that circumference is proportional to the diameter. So the constant of proportionality in this case is pi. Therefore, the exact number of radii that fit around the circle is actually 2 pi. Okay. So the exact number is 2 pi. And that's for that problem. Okay, question 3 says, why doesn't the number of radii that fit around the circumference of the circle depend on the radius of the circle? So in other words, if I have any circle here of any size, okay, it could be a tiny circle, why doesn't the number, so like why doesn't the 2 pi or the other number affect the circumference? Okay, so it says, why doesn't the number of radii that fit around the circumference of the circle depend on the radius of the circle? And the reason is because all circles are similar, okay? And when the radius is scaled, the circumference scales by the same factor. So the number of radii that fit around the circle does not change. Okay. So that's that really. Please go back and review some of these formulas because we'll be using them later. But one thing I do want you to pay close attention is to the video that I showed in the resources. Watch it again because that video will be very helpful when you go to pre-calculus.